Hello students, welcome all in this session. So this is Sovik Das and I have come here to discuss next 10 marks, that is our question number 3. Okay, so let's start. So our first question is this, question number 3a. Mechanical advantage, load and effort are related as. You all know this one, so you know the correct option. Correct option will be the option number 3, right? Here how mechanical advantage, you all know the formula, load by effort. Okay, so this option is not here, load by effort, this option is not here, so multiply, cross multiplication, mechanical advantage into effort will be load. Okay, so correct option is 3. Next question 3b. Which of the following statements is correct? Okay, related to machine, this one. A machine is used to have more output energy as compared to input. More output we cannot get. This is wrong. Mechanical advantage of a machine can never be greater than 1. Yes, can be greater than 1. This statement is wrong. If a machine gives convenience of direction, then its mechanical advantage should be greater than 1. No, when it is convenience of direction, its mechanical advantage will be equal to 1. Okay, and fourth option, for a given design of a machine, even if the mechanical advantage increases, velocity ratio remains the same. Yes, velocity ratio is a constant quantity for a particular machine. Velocity ratio is a constant quantity, it cannot be changed for a particular machine when it is already made, but mechanical advantage can be changed. Okay, mechanical advantage is a variable quantity. Okay, mechanical advantage is a variable quantity. Okay, next question 3c. Yes, 3c. If a block and tackle system with convenient direction has 3 movable pulleys, then its velocity ratio. Okay, so in block and tackle system, for block and tackle system, we know velocity ratio equal to number of pulleys. Okay, but here it is given 3 movable pulley, it is not given how many fixed pulleys. Okay, so for block and tackle system, the upper part, okay, upper part, those are fixed. Okay, these pulleys are fixed pulleys, and in the lower part few pulleys are there. Okay, which are movable pulleys. These are movable pulleys. Okay, so if 3 movable pulleys, then fixed pulley can be 3 or 4, right? Fixed pulley can be 3 or 4. Okay, so velocity ratio will be equal to number of pulleys. So if it is 3, then 3 plus 3 6. If it is 4, then 4 plus 3 7. So 6 or 7 is the velocity ratio. So it can be either 6 or 7. Okay, in this case 3 movable pulleys means, here these 3 movable pulleys means in the upper part, those are fixed pulleys, it will be 3 or 4. Okay, it can be 3 or 4. So for that reason velocity ratio will be either 6 or 7. Next question number D, 3D. These all are 1 mark question. Okay, you will get in a particular question, this is question number 3, you will get 4 1 mark question, 4 into 1. Okay, 1 2 mark question, 1 into 2, and 1 4 mark question, 1 into 4. So 4 plus 2 6 plus 4 10. Okay, so 10. In this way we are discussing, right? Question number 1 10 marks, question number 2 10 marks, and question number 3 10 marks again. Okay, so work done by a body moving on a circular track is 0 at any instant, because what is the reason? Displacement is 0 for a circular track at any instant, at every instant. It is given at every instant. At every instant the displacement cannot be 0. There is no force acting. Yes, force is there. Why no force acting? Reason is not mentioned in other options. No. Second option, displacement is perpendicular to the centripetal force. So if this is a circular path, then at every instant, okay, work done by a body moving in a circular track, force acts in this direction towards the center. This is force, and displacement at any instant will be tangential. This is displacement at any instant, tangential. So this angle is 90. and we know work done means F is cos theta. So here cos 90 means 0. So displacement is perpendicular to centripetal force at every instant. Fine? Understood? Understood. Going to next question. Our next question is this 3E. This is a 2-mark question. Okay, this is a 2-mark question. So identify the conditions required to hear a clear and distinct echo by humans in air. So here you can see that there are two options are correct. For that reason it is a 2-mark question. Okay, so read the options. The reflecting surface should be rough. Should be rough is wrong option. Okay, it can be rough, it can be plain. Okay, should be rough is not the correct option. The size of the reflecting surface should be smaller than the wavelength of sound. No, never. Okay, sound should not be reflected back within 0.1 second. Yes, sound should not be reflected back within 0.1 second. If it comes back within 0.1 second, our ear cannot distinguish two sounds. Okay, the original sound and the reflected sound, our ear cannot distinguish. The incident sound should have frequency more than 25,000 Hz. Also wrong, because it is not audible. Okay, this frequency is not audible. Not audible, we cannot hear. And fifth option, the size of the reflecting surface should be larger than the wavelength of sound. Yes, this is also correct. Size of the reflecting surface should be larger than the wavelength of sound, otherwise reflection of sound will not occur. Okay, so for that reason option 3 and option 5 are the correct options in this case, and it is a 2-mark question. For that reason 2 options are correct. Okay, ठीक है, चलते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन में. तो ये आ गया हमारा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन 3F1. ओके, a person standing in front of a vertical cliff fires a gun and hears its echo in 3 seconds. The speed of sound in air is 340 meter per second. Calculate distance at which the person is standing in front of the cliff. Steps are given to calculate the distance. Select the correct sequence of the steps from the given options. So this distance we have to find. Okay, from cliff to person, this distance we have to find. Person fires the gun and the sound goes like this. Okay, it hits the cliff and comes back, okay, to the person. This total time is given, that is 3 seconds. Okay, okay, so what will be the step? So here we will use the formula. Our formula is 2D equal to V into T. Why 2D? The sound is going and coming back, total distance covered by the sound is D plus D. Okay, so 2D. Okay, so here first we put the values. So 2D equal to 340 into 3. Okay, any options are there like this? Okay, so we will arrange this in this way. 2D by 3 equal to 340. So this equation is there. Yes, 340 equal to 2D by 3. So option 1 is correct here. Now find the distance. Okay, so the distance will be 340 into 3 will go to the right side and 2 will come down to the right side. So 2 and 340, that will be 170 into 3, so 510 meter. So 510, yes, here it will be 3. Okay, here it will be 3. So option 1 and option 3 are correct. So finally option 3 is correct, that is 1 then 3. 1 is the first sequence, this is equation 1, and this is equation 3. Okay, so 3. So correct equation is first 1 and then 3. Fine, fine. With the same diagram we have next question. Okay, with the same diagram we have next question. The next question is this 3F, question number 2. All the data are okay. 3 seconds, 340 meter per second. Now if the speed of sound changes to 350 meter per second, then how much distance should the person move towards or away from the cliff in order to hear the echo? Okay, in order to hear the echo in the same time. Fine. So in the previous case we got the equation 2D by 3 equal to 340. Okay, this is suppose equation 1. Okay, okay, and here speed is 350. Okay, and we are hearing echo, the person can hear echo in the same time. Okay, that means time is 3. This distance, initial distance, you take d1, because we have to find how much distance the person should move. that distance is given here by d. Okay, so second distance to d2 by 3, that will be 350. This is equation 2. Okay, clear? Direct equation I have written. Now which distance, d1 or d2, which one will be more? In case of d2 we are getting 350, in case of d1 we are getting 340. So obviously d2 is greater than d1. Okay, d2 is greater than d1, and d2 minus d1 is taken here d. D is what? The distance moved by the person. So if we subtract the two equations, we will get 2 by 3 common. d2 minus d1 is d we have taken here. Okay, so it will be d equal to 350 minus 340. So this equation is present in equation 2. Okay, so 350 minus 340 equal to 2d by 3. Now find the answer. So d, what about d? Now 350 minus 340 is 10. So 10 into 3 by 2. So 30 by 2, that is 15 meter. So 15 meter, yes, 15 meter. So first 2, then 4. First 2, then 4. Fine. In this case, from here you start. 2d by 3 equal to 340. 2d by t equal to v. Okay, 2d by t equal to v. No need to remember, just 2d equal to v into t, that one so you know. Okay. Next, after this, we will see again this slide, that is the topic wise approximate weightage, that is force, work per energy and simple machine. From this unit you can get 16 to 17 marks. From light you can get 16 to 17 marks. Light means refraction is there, lens is there, then spectrum is there, dispersion is there. Okay, and sound, only the first part, 6 to 8 marks you can get, and all total it will be 40. So this is your approximate weightage from all the units. Okay, first unit force, work per energy and simple machine, second unit light, and third unit sound. From sound only the first part. So I hope you all have enjoyed. So this is Souvik Das signing off. Keep watching. Thank you everyone.